Hey guys, welcome to Geo with Motsoko. In today's video, we are doing a topic on Berg winds in the coastal low, right? Let's just dive into it. It says refer to the sketch below on Berg winds, right? Remember, our Berg winds are hot, dry winds, right? Which blow from the Kalahari High towards the coastal low, right? And you just need to know that they are offshore winds because they move from the land, right? And they go to the coast there, right? They move from the land, so they are offshore winds. Okay, always refer to the sketch if it's provided. Always look at diagrams. Like if you look at this diagram, H is the Kalahari High, right? This low pressure is along the coast, so it's our coastal low, right? Those are the two requirements for Berg winds to occur: high pressure, Kalahari High, and our coastal low, right? In some diagrams, the coastal low will not be there, but you'll see a mid-latitude cyclone somewhere here on the side, okay? Because when a mid-latitude cyclone approaches, it creates favorable conditions, right? It creates the conditions necessary for Berg winds to occur, right? So in some diagrams, especially in exam papers or question papers, you will see a mid-latitude cyclone right here, right? And then the coastal low might not be there. And they will ask you for two requirements according to the sketch. If they say according to the sketch, and you're only seeing a Kalahari High and a mid-latitude, you must say Kalahari High and mid-latitude cyclone, right? Only in that case where there's a mid-latitude cyclone and there is no coastal low, right? Because a mid-latitude cyclone also creates the conditions necessary for Berg winds to occur, okay? But as it approaches, okay, because we know once it approaches, it changes the weather, okay? If you look at, okay, let's look at A, let's look at B. I told you Berg winds are offshore winds, right? So the winds blow from the land, from the interior towards the coast. From the interior towards the coast. As you can see, this is our escarpment, right? So they go down the escarpment, they descend the escarpment, right? If you look at option A and option B here, you can already tell that, look at this arrow, it's coming from the ocean towards the land. That's onshore. I just told you that Berg winds are offshore. Let me even draw an arrow here to show you. They are offshore, right? They go from the Kalahari High towards the coastal low. They move from the high towards the low, from the land towards the coast, right, to our oceans. If you look at diagram A now, it's going the opposite direction, from the ocean towards the land. It doesn't happen like that. So diagram B is showing us our Berg winds, right? From the Kalahari High head B towards the coastal low, towards the ocean. Okay, let's take a look at this weather station, right? Remember, our Berg winds, they descend the escarpment, they go down the escarpment. That's why the weather station at X, can you see there's clear skies? There's clear skies because there's no cloud formation. Remember, these winds descend the escarpment and they are heated adiabatically. 1 degree Celsius for every 100 meters, right? They have no moisture, right? There's no rising, cooling, and condensation. That's why the weather station is showing us clear sky. It is cloudless. But if you look at the wind speed, it is 10, 20, 30 knots, right? These are strong winds, they are gusty winds, right? They are moving very fast, right? They are fast, but as you can see, there's clear skies, no rainfall. Look at the temperatures. The air temperature is 34 degrees Celsius. 34 degrees. There's high temperature. Remember, they are warm but dry, right? They are hot, dry winds which blow from the Kalahari High towards the coastal low, right? If you look at number 1, it says they name the high pressure cell and low pressure cell indicated on the sketch. We know that the high pressure cell here is the Kalahari High, also known as the continental high, right? And then the low pressure is our coastal low. You can see it's along the coast. It is our coastal low. Okay, let's move on to question 2. Which sketch, A or B, represents the formation of Berg winds? Let's go back. Is it A or B? Remember, I told you Berg winds are offshore winds. They move from the land towards our coast, right? You can see that at A, they move from the ocean towards the land. Our Berg winds move from the land towards the ocean, towards the coast, right? So answer there has to be B, this sketch B. They're moving from the interior towards the coast, right? They are offshore winds. So the answer is B. Okay, 1.5.3, give a reason for your answer. They want to know why we chose B as Berg winds. Remember, Berg winds, firstly, they are offshore winds, right? That's correct. Offshore winds, right? They move from the land towards the ocean. That's offshore winds. You can see this arrow is going from the land towards the ocean, right? You can tell us that Berg winds move from the Kalahari High towards the coastal low, from the interior towards the coastal low, towards our oceans, right? So A is wrong. You can see that A is an onshore wind from the ocean towards the land, whereas our Berg winds has to be B, because Berg winds move from the interior towards the coast, right? Number 4 says, explain why cloudless conditions are experienced by station model X. You see again, you can tell us again, Kalahari High, sorry, you can tell us again that Berg winds are offshore winds, therefore they are dry. Remember, the land is dry and the ocean holds moisture. So if the air is moving from the land, it is going to be dry. Offshore winds are dry. That's a reason. Another reason is that as the air descends, you can see it's descending the escarpment, it is heated adiabatically. It is heated adiabatically, right? So there is no cooling and condensation. There's no condensation taking place, right? And the moisture is being released, right? It has lost all moisture, right? And there is no condensation taking place because as the air moves down, as it descends the escarpment, it is heated adiabatically, right? Therefore, no condensation takes place, right? It is offshore winds. Offshore winds are dry because they are coming from the land. The land does not have moisture like our oceans, okay? Number 5, in a paragraph of approximately 8 lines, in a paragraph of approximately 8 lines, explain how Berg winds impact, let's highlight, how they impact negatively on what? On the natural vegetation. On the what? On the natural vegetation. And remember, we're not just looking at impacts only now. They also want us to suggest strategies, right? They can be put in place to limit the negative impacts, right? You see? This paragraph is asking us for two things, not just one thing. So it's very important to highlight or underline what is being asked, so that you don't end up covering one aspect of the paragraph. Okay, how does it impact negatively on the natural environment? It says the Berg winds dry out the natural vegetation. Remember, your answer is asking for negative impacts on the natural vegetation. Let's not divert from what is being asked, okay? And then you can talk about Berg winds increasing the temperatures of an area and making it vulnerable to veld fires, right? Our wildfires. Now, the veld fires will destroy the natural vegetation, right? Remember, if it was dried up, it's going to be easier for the natural vegetation to catch a fire, okay? And then you see, these are some of the strategies that you can use. Number 1, you can create fire breaks, right? Now, if as a farmer, there should be a part of a land where you just remove vegetation, right? Yeah, if you have crops somewhere, at some part of your farm, you should just remove vegetation so that the fire does not extend towards your crops, right? Just have a fire break in between. Okay, you can ensure that water is accessible, right? It will make it easier for you to stop the fire if water is easily available, right? You can create awareness of the negative impacts of wildfires. If you create awareness, then obviously other farmers will also know exactly what to do in times in winter, because this is where we get our Berg winds, right? So in winter, all the farmers can be prepared for wildfires. Okay, now when it comes to strategies, it's very important for you to know that you can always create awareness, right? This answer applies to almost every strategy in geography. I don't think there is a strategy where we can't say create awareness, right, and educate the community, right, about the impacts of wildfires, so that the community can be ready, right, can be well prepared for a wildfire, right? So create awareness, educate the community, but you must expand, right? Make your point relatable, right? It must relate to the question, okay? Don't just say educate the people about what? About the impact of Berg winds, right? Raise awareness about what? Right? Raise awareness about the impact of wildfires caused by the Berg winds, right? You can build, maintain, monitor lookout towers, and early warning systems. And early what? Warning systems. People should be warned that there's felt fires, so obviously people will have to evacuate, people will have to help if they can, obviously with the water available. There should be available emergency services on standby, right, such as our firefighters. Okay, so those are some of the strategies you can talk about, right? So one common mistake which people make in paragraph questions is just answering one aspect. If you don't highlight, you won't know exactly what's being asked of you, right? Because you can easily forget, right? Just make sure you highlight the main points. The main point here was impacts, and not just any impacts, negative impacts on what? On the natural vegetation. And afterwards, you have to suggest strategies to limit the negative impacts, right? So the impact was the vegetation is going to dry out, right? The Berg winds are going to increase the temperatures, making the place vulnerable to felt fires, right? Now, remember our vegetation is now dried up. It's going to easily catch a fire. It's going to easily catch the felt fires, okay? And then the strategy there, we said we can create fire breaks, right? We can raise awareness about the impacts of Berg winds. We can educate the community about the impacts as well. We can ensure that there's water available, right?